Hi, and welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world to you. I'm Jonathan Calixto, and today we'll update you on what's happening in and around our borough. Coming up, we speak with a representative from ABGH and a representative of the Colorectal Cancer Alliance to learn more about their mission to raise awareness for colorectal cancer. Then we are joined by a representative from the Bronx Chamber of Commerce and the Castle Hill YMCA to speak on the upcoming Women of Distinction and Scholarship Luncheon. After that, we look back at an interview with the Associate Director of Green Job Programs at LaGuardia Community College. And finally, we speak with two representatives from Mind Builders who will speak on their upcoming summer programs and events. So stay tuned, all this and much more is headed your way because we're now officially open. Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan Calixto and today is Tuesday, March 11th. You are now watching Open, a program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. Don't forget to stay connected with us via social media at BronxNet TV. The Association of Black Gastroenterologists and Hepatologists and the leading nonprofit Colorectal Cancer Alliance have partnered up to help promote early detection and expand healthcare access for those in need in regards to colorectal cancer. Joining me now to speak more on their efforts is the co-founder of the Association of Black Gastroenterologists and Hepatologists, Dr. Iroku, along with Ayla Casey, an advocate with the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. Thank you both for joining me today.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, now
Happy
of
to be
course,
here.
we have a very important topic that we are talking about today, and I want to start off by learning a little bit more about these organizations that you both are a part of. Now, Dr. Iroku, please tell me a little bit about the Association of Black Gastroenterologists and Hepatologists and the mission and the work that you do.
Well, I think we can all remember 2020 and the social cauldron it was with the death of George Floyd and that question as to whether or not Black lives mattered. And in that environment, we had an additional loss, of course, the loss of Chadwick Boseman from colorectal cancer at an early age. And as tragic as that story was, it is not uncommon. We know that Black people are 20% more likely to get colorectal cancer than their white counterparts and 40% more likely to die from it. And so a number of gastroenterologists across the country got together to form the Association of Black Gastroenterologists and Hepatologists to address this issue, to put the issue of health equity in the Black community at the forefront, and to see what we could do to bring the numbers and rates of colorectal down as low as possible.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing more, just a little bit about the organization, of course. And I know we're going to talk a little bit more about the impact and obviously the work that is going into it now. But you are partnering with CCA. Ayla, can you tell me a little bit more about the mission behind the organization as well?
Of course, the Colorectal Cancer Alliance is dedicated to ending colorectal cancer through prevention, care, and research.
Yeah, now, of course, with this month, there is a mission for James, and it includes educational workshops. It includes a fundraiser, even at that. Ayla, can you talk to me a little bit more about this mission and this campaign specifically?
Absolutely. My late husband, James, was diagnosed with colorectal cancer at age 38, which is, 7 full years before the current recommended screening age for colorectal cancer. And he was very generous with his story and sharing it with the public because he wanted to empower everybody to be able to take charge of their health. So the key points behind this campaign are knowledge and access. And so we partnered with the Colorectal Cancer Alliance and ABGH to make this as easy as possible, bringing forth resources and raising money to provide screening services to those who are uninsured.
Yeah. You talk about the importance of bringing these resources, especially to communities. Talk to me about the impact. What do you hope that impact will be for individuals and their communities as well?
For the most part, I just really hope that people will have an awareness about this disease, that it is impacting young people at increasing rates year over year, and that this disease is treatable and preventable when it's caught early. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to have the worst outcome attached to it. And if you know about it, and you know that you can assess your risk factors, whether that be family history or something else, then you'll know that you can get screened, and potentially that be life-saving advice for you.
Yeah, now, of course, this month also marks National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Dr. Iroku, talk to me about the importance of creating this partnership with this campaign, but also the work that you're doing as well.
Yeah, so we're a nation that lives in seasons, and we kind of codify the importance we put to issues. And of course, we're just coming off of Black History Month and speaking to the importance of that. And for in this month, March, in our field, we recognize it as a moment where we can speak to patients in the broader community about the importance of colorectal cancer screening. And that word screening is important because screening means you feel fine. You don't have feel like you're ill. You don't feel like you're sick, but you might have a disease that's just beginning to form. And with screening, with our tests and the tests that we do in the community, we're able to find disease early on so that we can treat it. Like Ayla said, when we find colorectal cancer early, there's so much we can do for it. Even if it's full blown cancer, it has a 90% cure rate. But if we wait and it becomes stage 4 cancer, then that cure rate drops down to around 15%. So even if it's cancer, finding it early matters. Colorectal cancer is definitely preventable and it's treatable and it's beatable. And we want to get that message across to the community.
Yeah. Now, doctor, with that, I mean, you put a big emphasis on screening, which is very important to being detected and to figuring out methods to obviously cope with what you are dealing with in your diagnosis. Where can people go to get screened and find out what risk factors they may be having?
Exactly. So, an easy start is always to go to your primary care doctor. That's always going to be to a person that you can go and say, "Hey, am I at the age where I'm supposed to be getting screening?" And we believe in screening for everything, whether it's your mammograms or your PSAs or your prostate and colorectal cancer. We definitely have a holistic approach. And so, having that conversation with your doctor is always going to be a big start. But luckily, there are amazing organizations, yes, like ABGH. You can get our website at blackandgastro.org and also the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. You can go to their website and they'll be able to get you to screening sources in your neighborhood. As much as we talk sometimes as gastroenterologists about doing colonoscopies where we look through the colon to see if there's any early polyp, there are other ways you can get screened as well. There's stool tests you could do. You don't even have to come in to get any anesthesia, but you can still get screened for colorectal cancer. And so luckily there are amazing amount of resources you can have to get your colorectal cancer screening where you are locally. It's something that can be done today.
Now, Ayla, going back to you, I know you obviously speak to how this has hit close to home. What do you see from your own journey that you went through as barriers that people do face when it comes to either screening, detection, or even healthcare access?
I think particularly with young people, symptoms are often overlooked. It's easy to chalk something up to just sort of being under stress or just some sort of normal life occurrence. And there are some symptoms that really should be looked at as this should never be looked at as a normal life occurrence, and you should speak to your doctor if this ever happens. So I think that that's part of it, but the other part of it is the getting to the doctor part. There's a lot of complexities when it comes to health insurance and going to the doctor, and this is disease has traditionally been viewed as a disease that afflicts older people. And so oftentimes people will encounter at the doctor, and I know this is true with my husband James, that the first couple of doctor visits we were sort of told that sort of pushed off that this wasn't as serious as it was. So oftentimes that can also be an issue with young people at the doctor where, it can be overlooked as something else or misdiagnosed.
Yeah. Now, with that as well, Ayla, you are taking obviously what you went through, but you're also creating more resources and opportunities for a community. There is a webinar happening tonight at 8 p.m. Can you talk to me a little bit about what people can expect as they tune in to that?
Absolutely. We have doctors from ABGH that will be talking about what you can look out for, how you can be your own advocate, especially as a young person. But I can't emphasize enough that this information, these symptoms, they apply to all generations. So this webinar will be informative, it will be supportive, and we encourage everybody to come and tell someone they love to come. Self-advocacy is self-care.
Now, Dr. Iroku, with Ayla was mentioning it, and you mentioned it earlier as well, how this disease is affecting different generations. It's no longer something that historically was for people over 50 years old. Even in 2023, the American Cancer Society put out a report that mentioned that 13% of new cases were diagnosed for people under age 50. Talk to me about what is this change, what is happening, any more information that you can share about that.
Yeah, and so it's very interesting that a lot of what our viewers might have heard years ago no longer applies. There was a time, even in medical school, where we were taught that colorectal cancer disease was a disease of older people. And I put that older in quotes respectfully. We were finding that the trend has changed. And unfortunately, since the 1990s, with the advent of colorectal cancer screening, the overall rates of colorectal cancer are going down. But for the younger crowd who aren't getting screened, their rates are going up. And unfortunately, it's going up on the tune of about 1 to 3% every single year. And so now we have about, like you said, a fair fraction of patients who have colorectal cancer are actually young, under the age of 55, under the age of 50, under the age of 45. And so it's no longer enough to just say that a little blood in the stool is just from a hemorrhoid, or you're feeling fatigue, it's just from you working hard. It's okay to try to manage some of those symptoms at home, but you have to realize that that might be part of a greater trend where there's some health issues that are occurring in younger patients more so than ever before. And another important point is whether or not it's colorectal cancer or another gut disease, there's celiac disease, there's Crohn's, you don't have to be both the doctor and the patient. If you have some symptoms, if they haven't resolved, at some point it's time to come to the doctor and have a conversation about what might be going on.
Yeah, thank you so much for that advice, Doctor. Now, Ayla, when we talk about these initiatives, these resources, these even opportunities for communities to come together, what do you hope people will take away from this month-long effort?
A lot of times this type of effort is you can't necessarily directly measure the impact, but what I'm hoping for is that we're planting seeds that will germinate at a time when somebody needs the information. I hope that if at some point a person or their loved one is going through something, that they'll remember this message that we are sharing and emphasizing throughout the month.
Definitely. And I mean, I think part of continuing that message and the importance of this topic is having these conversations. So thank you so much again, Ayla and Dr. Iroku, for being with us here today.
Our pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Now, for our viewers, if you want to learn more about colorectal cancer risk factors, please visit the website getscreen.org. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Open after this.
We're going to start the show right now. This is my favorite part. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, this is Angel, and I am one of the instructors for the in-studio production. Here at BronxNet, we offer classes that can help you elevate, expand, and start your television career. All you have to do is sign up at bronxnet.org/education. For the past 7 years, I have been in various productions, spanning from talk shows, independent films, news reports, art displays, teachings, musical performances, and many more. Ain't that right, Angel? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Angel. There are a lot of creative individuals that we're just waiting to sign up for the class. And if I may, can I also express thank you, Angel. That's all the time we have left. Visit BronxNet.org/education and become a producer by taking the course. The class I offer is also in English, en español y también bilingüe. Nos vemos en la próxima clase.
Welcome back. The Women of Distinction and Scholarship Luncheon was founded by Bronx Chamber of Commerce President Lisa Sorin. The event brings together influential leaders from various Bronx sectors to recognize the achievements of women who have significantly contributed to the local community. Joining me now is Lisa Sorin and this year's honoree, Castle Hill YMCA Executive Director, Sharlene Brown. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes,
Glad
thank
to
you.
be here.
Yeah, a very important topic. I mean, and I mentioned to you, Lisa, we do see you out in the field all the time as a reporter when we go out to cover these events. But this is one of those special events. Talk to me, I mean, in general, big picture, the Bronx Chamber of Commerce, for our viewers who may not be familiar with it, a little background of the work that you do.
Of course. So the Bronx Chamber of Commerce is really an advocate and supporter of our small businesses across the Bronx. We cover being able to reach out. The Bronx presently has over 27,000 businesses. So our job is really about the success of our businesses, making sure that not only survive, but they thrive. And we do it through many providing resources, advocacy, partnership, outreach, and be a liaison between the city agency and us.
Yeah, now learning more about obviously the important work that you're doing. This is now the 19th annual luncheon. Talk to me about the inspiration behind creating this luncheon and this community.
Well, this was a passion project of mine way back when I was on the board of directors for the Bronx Chamber, and it really was about giving access to young ladies across our borough who are in high school, who have not had an opportunity to sit across from these powerful women across our borough, these leaders, and have an opportunity to not only speak with them, but learn from them. And at the same time, we have an opportunity to share a resource, provide some level of scholarship, to let them know that we support them, and they have us as a resource for as long as they want us.
Yeah, now of course, when you talk about a powerful woman, we have Sharlene Brown, this year's honoree of the luncheon. Talk to me, Sharlene, when you heard that you were gonna be honored this year, how did that feel?
When I heard that I was going to be honored, I was first feeling very humble and appreciative of this event. I've been attending this luncheon for the last 10 years. And I know that I'm standing on the shoulders of women who have been impactful and influential in the borough. So to hear this is a big honor. And then also to know that this event is for the young ladies that are heading to college, getting scholarships. This is dear to me because this impacts the work that I do every day, making sure our youth are fitted for college. So this is just a really good event that I was just picked for, and I can't say how much I'm pleased behind it.
Yeah, and now of course for our viewers, you are the Executive Director of Castle Hill YMCA. Talk to me a little bit about the work that you do with the YMCA.
The YMCA, I like to say, it's a backbone of the community. You know, we're the fiber and the material of the community through empowering our youth, improving health, and strengthening the community. These programs all geared toward to making some kind of personal impact on a person's life, making them better, making them fulfilling a need or a service that they need. So every day when someone walks through the door at Castle Hill Y, we're servicing them with something that is needed or wanted.
Yeah, now, of course, a very important organization at that. I know we've covered it as well, so many different events that go on for the community. Now, Lisa, not to put you on the spot, but I mean, we have Sharlene here, so talk to me about, we hear the incredible work that she's doing, but why was she the best person to represent this year's luncheon and be honored?
Well, I think that she exemplifies the theme of moving forward, education, and a role model, right? But at the end of the day, she says, it is so absolutely difficult to select a powerful leader within our borough. And we really look into, do they meet the criteria? Are they an example for other young ladies? And this year, Sharlene is the perfect example of what that is. And I'm so thrilled at the idea that the young ladies will get to meet her, will want to be her, use her as an example of leadership and an example for other young ladies. You know, at the end of the day, our goal behind the Bronx Chamber is really to encourage young people, entrepreneurs, give them the vision and understand that leaders within our own borough are here to support them. You know, we've made it, we've climbed that ladder, and our organization not only supports the businesses, but the actual owners and the people looking to develop their own business, which is wonderful. You know, past COVID, post-COVID, we saw such a large increase in entrepreneurs in our borough, the largest increase across all 5 boroughs. So these opportunities like this event that's so near and dear, and we get to honor individuals such as Sharlene, really brings the whole picture together for us. It really exemplifies everything that we do on a yearly basis. And we select some outstanding young ladies, so I'm really looking forward to meeting them this year.
Yeah, now of course you both have mentioned that part of these mentorships in a sense, or these opportunities for these young scholars to interact with incredible women who are making changes and impacting their communities. There is a portion of, you know, the event where it is honoring these young scholars with a scholarship at that.
That's correct.
Lisa, talk to me about, you know, how much are these scholars getting and for their educational journey and the importance of having that as well.
Well, I'll start by saying that these scholarships are made possible because we have generous supporters, sponsors of these young ladies. You know, we do our outreach to our businesses and individuals who really support the vision. And so these young ladies get $1,500 to use as they will. It's not like we tell them you have to use it for certain things. Expenses for college come in all shapes and sizes. And these young ladies are receiving that. And we commit as an organization and the leaders that we honor over the course of these 19 years, that they can turn to us at any time. You know, we're entering our 20th year, and we are thrilled to look for these young ladies. You're talking over 100 young ladies who have come through our doors, and we want to see where they have shined. I mean, it is incredible, the story of these young girls. We leave there every year with tears on our eyes at the amazing vision that they have, the support of their families. And these are representative of what we have in our borough, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, now of course, Sharlene, you've mentioned you have been an attendee in the past. You know, this year you are being honored. When these women look at the journey that you've had in your career as well, what advice would you give them, or what do you hope they take away as well when they hear your journey?
I'm hoping I'm giving them the confidence that they're able to pursue what they want to pursue. You know, and I would also encourage them to be a part of the YMCA programs. We have teen programs that work around the youth, that to build self-confidence, give them a place to be heard in a very inclusive environment that is safe and surrounded by people who care and people who will help build them up. And as Lisa has stated, you know, these girls, a lot of them today, and we noticed from the pandemic, like you said, that college is not always the choice. Entrepreneurship and career readiness is so important. And this is something that at the YMCA we thrive on, we're big on, to try to meet the kids where they're at and if this is a skill they need. So I would influence, you know, these young ladies to get involved in the Y. It's a place where you can build from that will meet you where you're at. And, you know, I want to be accessible. I want to be there for them, you know, to help them through their journey. I have an open door policy. You know, you come into the Y, you can come see Ms. Brown and, you know, help them on their journey. So I'm really looking forward to meeting these ladies as well as Lisa and help put them on a path to success, for self-fulfillment, or, you know, any other direction I can help.
Yeah, now you talk about the importance of the why and having this open door policy in a
yes.
sense. We can all go see Mrs. Brown. Now, with that, I mean, what is coming up for Castle Hill YMCA? Any initiatives that you
God.
would love us to, like, obviously keep on our radar, or for them to be able to see you at one of these next events or initiatives?
So much goes on at the Castle Hill Y. The Castle Hill Y, like I said, is the fabric of the community. But let me point out summer's coming, okay? And there's two important things. Summer, lifeguards. Lifeguards are needed. At the Castle Hill Y, the only Y in New York City with an outdoor pool, we need extra lifeguards, as well as the pools in the city and the other YMCA. So there is free lifeguard training that goes on and starts at the age of 16. So I would like to put that out there. Then also summer camp. Summer camp is coming. We serve kids starting from the age of 4 up to the age of 16. We have kinder camp, traditional swim camp, basketball camp, and teen camp. Then also there's the need for counselors. So we're hiring. The hiring process has started, as well as camp enrollment. Those are things that are coming up for the summer, and we're excited to get people in. There's plenty of space, there's room, there's scholarships available. And speaking of scholarships, we have our big annual fundraiser. It's called the Sunset Cruise. It's on June 28th. A ship that leaves right out of Marina Del Rey, right here in the Bronx, and it's full of fun, but every penny that we make go back to support the programs and services we do at Castle Hill Y.
Wow, that's great. And something obviously for our community to look forward to. Summer is especially
It is here.
huge in the Bronx, so something we'll definitely have to add to our calendars. Now, with that, Lisa, you talked about obviously this luncheon, even creating a community, inspiring young scholars, young entrepreneurs at that. The Bronx Chamber of Commerce does kind of have this community of entrepreneurs, small businesses, even in our community. Talk to me about the importance of having a community like that and what people can get away from being a part of the Chamber of Commerce.
I'll tell you, one is we really encourage everyone to join the chamber, right? Because the level of resources available through us, we are out on the street literally going door to door, visiting the corridors of our borough. We have hundreds of corridors, thousands of businesses who really don't understand or look for assistance. You know, there's so many resources out there. They're busy. These are mom and pop stores, a majority. You know, almost 90% of the businesses in the borough are what we call micro businesses, under 10 employees. And they're busy running their businesses, you know, successfully. And our job is to make sure that they have the resources, understands the laws and regulations that are out there, that are so many, how to easily navigate New York City and how to do business in New York City. And we're proud of that, right? We have many success stories of the work that we've been able to do. And after COVID, we really hit the ground running so that they see a face. They know we have the experience, and they have somebody to fall back on. Many people during COVID were really scared, didn't know where to turn, and we became that lifeline for them. And now, post-COVID, we're still there for them, encouraging them how to start their business, you know, what to do in marketing. I mean, there's so many resources. It's fun, educational. We partner with individuals and organizations like the Y because it takes a village. And the Bronx is such a unique, powerful borough. And all eyes are on us now. We have businesses are exploding, our transportation is growing, we have the Metro North Station, so we're headed to really exciting times, and the Bronx Chamber is at the forefront of it, which is why we encourage businesses to join us.
Yeah, and of course the fun begins March 28th with this luncheon coming in. Again, thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you, Charlene. Congratulations on the honor as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So the Women of Distinction and Scholarship Luncheon will take place on Friday, March 28th. To learn more, please visit the website on your screen below. Stay tuned. We have more open for you right after this.
.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak, and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
Welcome back. We would like to take this time to look back at an interview with Alexander Secchi, the Associate Director of Green Job Programs at LaGuardia Community College, to discuss why there is a need for these non-traditional career paths. Let's take a look.
Thank you for having me.
Now, as I mentioned, LaGuardia is offering training for green jobs, but before we get into the specific program, what are green jobs and how do they differ from traditional jobs?
Well, I would say there is some overlap with traditional construction jobs. Some of the skills that, for example, electricians would have transfer very well over to solar panel installation, which is, as you may know, a big initiative here in the city. I'll say this several times more, I'm sure, but New York has very ambitious green goals, carbon emission goals. 2050, we're looking at to be 100% carbon neutral, and we're here to provide training to individuals to help us in the process and achieve those goals.
Now, I understand that, as you mentioned, green jobs kind of focus on just being a little bit more green, but with that, can you tell me a little bit more about some other examples of what a green job is for those who may be interested?
Sure, yeah, I mean, there are essentially green jobs, kind of green concepts in all the trade skills programs that we're running. It's kind of the new way forward, right? So whether it's HVAC, right, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, refrigeration, we don't, nowadays you can't offer the training without energy savings concepts, learning about on a broader scale for buildings like concepts like heat pumps and that kind of installation, and building insulation. All these kind of concepts are part of our regular trade skills training programs. But I guess most specifically, for green jobs is solar panel installer, which I mentioned before, and a wind turbine technician, which is a big recruitment drive we're going through now, and an exciting initiative that we're part of.
Now, why did LaGuardia feel it was important to promote these green job training programs?
Well, mainly, there's going to be a lot of positions open, right? So like I mentioned, the city is a big initiative. For commercial buildings, they need to be retrofitted. All office buildings, the city has targets to go 100% carbon neutral. So there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of positions open. And so that as workforce development, these are areas that we target. Jobs that pay well, that have some upward mobility, and you can get without a college degree.
Now, you briefly mentioned solar panels. Can you tell me a little bit more about the program that focuses on that training, and what can participants expect when they do join that program?
Sure. So this is a grant-funded program, so it's tuition-free. We also offer a stipend to attend the class and a Metro card. The curriculum is based off the National Center for Construction, Education, and Research, This is in the title. It's a nationally recognized certification, becoming more broadly recognized across the country. So there's also mobility around the country if a trainee so desires. Yeah, so it's a standardized curriculum that is well received by employers. Trainees will also get OSHA 30-hour and the Department of Buildings 10-hour site safety. At the end of it, we are going to refer the trainees to a employment specialist who specializes in the construction field.
Now, why are we seeing this need for, solar installation technicians in the workforce?
Well, like I said, it's becoming a much more prevalent job. Whether in the public sector, working for city government, to retrofit government buildings, public schools, and also in the private sector, mostly in the commercial sector for office buildings, like I mentioned, but also there's a burgeoning need for solar panel installation for the residential sector, whether it's in the city or upstate or surrounding states.
Now, what I think is super interesting is that we're kind of seeing, programs like this kind of evolve to meet the needs of where, particularly right now where the city is at. Can you talk about the importance of programs like yours continuously evolving to ensure that their students are kind of meeting the needs of where the city, what the city needs at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's well put. At LaGuardia, at Workforce Development, we are always looking to get into new areas of workforce development. And particularly focusing on jobs that have, like I said before, a decent entry-level starting wage with upward mobility, right? So the ability to determine, to some degree, your future in that particular employment sector, that's important for us. So, we're always looking at new initiatives to get people into these jobs.
Now, you also mentioned the wind turbine technician. Can you tell me a little bit more about that program?
Yes, sure. What I've come to find out is the general public is really not so aware that all around Long Island, offshore, you can't see it from the beach, but 30 miles offshore, there's multiple wind farms in various stages of construction. Some are already built, some are in the bidding process to be built, and some are in various stages, like I said. As a result of this, there are going to be numerous technician jobs. What we train for is what's known as a wind turbine maintenance technician. It's essentially what it sounds like. As with all kind of heavy machinery or electrical equipment, it will need maintenance from time to time. It will need repair. And so we provide the training for those jobs.
Now, what I think is also pretty amazing is that for a lot of people who live in New York City, we don't really encounter, some of these things that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Why is it great to kind of just give, these students that exposure that they may not have gotten if they weren't in the program?
Yeah, I mean, New York is actually surprisingly lagging behind other areas of the country in terms of wind power development, and we are definitely lagging in terms of in comparison with parts of Europe or Asia. So what we provide is the Global Wind Organization (GWO) credentialing, which is essentially think like the OSHA for the wind industry, right? It teaches safety concepts, it teaches some of the technical concepts that they will need to know, electrical, mechanical, hydraulic, etc. But this is kind of, a worldwide initiative to save the planet, if that's not an exaggeration. But so this is kind of really a national effort and a worldwide effort to cut down on carbon emissions.
Well, I think it's amazing, and I love that it's exposing New Yorkers to that because I know when I see them, I'm like, whoa, like, it just seems so different just because it's not something that we see here in the city. So I love that there's an opportunity for New Yorkers to kind of get out there and learn something that will be valuable to their futures, especially when we're talking about mobility. Now, for those who are interested, what are some of the requirements before joining?
So eligibility to work in the United States is necessary. Also, you need to be 18 and older. Having a GED is, if not mandatory, then near to it, because some of the concepts are quite, the mathematical concepts in theory are perhaps around the 8th grade or higher level. For the wind turbine technician, being able to swim will be helpful in the event of an accident. Not having a fear of heights would also be helpful. The solar program is a lot less stringent, but essentially, yes, be able to work in the U.S. and 18 and over.
Now, I think that was I'm so glad that you kind of pointed out like some of those other requirements because I know that in New York City, sometimes people have an issue with swimming. And, there's so many things that are needed. So I love that you kind of, talked about those other things that we'll need. Now, in regards to that, what are some characteristics you would like for some of the recruitments to have?
Well, actually, what we look for with recruits is what's most asked for by employers regardless of the sector. It's really less about the technical knowledge than the attitude. So I would say, number one, the ability to show up on time and stay till the end of the day. Definitely timeliness and having not so many commitments outside of the educational sphere so that it would get in the way of coming to class. But really, we're recruiting for people who are enthusiastic and motivated, and that's what employers are looking for. The employers will give the trainee, the new recruit, the actual hard skills training. What they really are looking for is a good attitude and the ability to show up on time.
Now, can you tell me a little bit more about the sessions and when can people begin applying?
Oh yeah, so we are open for recruitment. You can email greenjobs@lagcc.cuny.edu is one way. You can navigate over to the LaGuardia Workforce Development webpage, and on each page at the very bottom there'll be a apply here link. Attendance at an information session, which is online, is mandatory, just to give applicants a kind of broad sense of what they're getting into. If the applicant is still interested in pursuing it, they would apply, answer some questions, and then be invited in for a kind of intake and assessment day.
Well, with that, I want to thank you so much for joining us and educating our community about the programs that's available to them.
Thank you very much.
If you're interested in these programs, please visit the website below on the screen.
We would like to thank Alexander Secchi for coming on the show to inform our viewers about their green job training programs. We have to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Open after this. Welcome back. Mind Builders Creative Arts Center provides quality music, dance, theater, martial arts, and pre-K programs for more than 750 students a year. Mind Builders is committed to maintaining both professional artistic standards and a nurturing, engaging environment. Joining me now is the Music Department Director, Waldo Chavez, and the Dance Department Director, Melvada Hughes of Mind Builders. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I mean, so many great things that you're offering. I mean, it even made me have a little tongue twister because there's so many amazing things that our community can take a part, can join and be a part of. But to start off, for our viewers who are still learning about Mind Builders, Melvada, maybe talk to us a little bit about the mission and the history about Mind Builders.
Okay, wow. Mind Builders was started in 1978, November. Our founder is Madaha Kinsey Lamb. She retired 2 years ago, and every day I walk into our newly renovated building. I just think of all the hard work she put in and over the years, and just so grateful. And so Mind Builders, for the last 46 years, has been, as you say, providing arts education to the community, and our goal is to provide the arts in such a way that if the young people wanted to go into the arts as a profession, they would be fully equipped to do so. But as you say, our credo has always been we are a nurturing and rigorous at the same time is how we like to engage with our young people.
Yeah, now of course I was mentioning there are more than 750 students who take a part of these programs every year. Now, Waldo, can you talk to me a little bit about the key programs that you offer and how does it help students?
I think our top program is the dance department. Mel has done an amazing job in all the years she's been, and they have especially highlighting the African dance program is incredible. Great drummers, everything. But we also have, of course, I am the director of the music department. We have music where we feature all of the instrument families. And we have a great stage band at this point, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But
did you bring the trophy?
Yes, I should. But so we have martial arts as well. We have a folk culture department, and we have a like a theater program. It's called PYT, Positive Youth Troupe, and we, obviously we teach everything individually to the students, but we provide performance opportunities for them throughout the year in different, some of our in-house performances, but also the community, calls upon us to do quite a bit of stuff as well. So yes, we're very happy. We like, just to elaborate on what she was saying about the nurturing part of it.
Yeah.
The way I see it and the way I've always seen it, and the reason why I've remained here so long is that it's a family. Really, I have thousands and thousands of nephews and nieces, brothers, cousins. Every Saturday there is when it's our biggest day. Yeah. It goes by like in 2 minutes. Wow. It just, I always say you can drop off a baby there, leave it, and then you'll come back in the afternoon. It'll be happier and fatter than ever. So that's the kind of place that we have.
I mean, and even with that kind of model that you're talking about, or this family that it creates, I mean, there is a big focus on serving a young, diverse group of community members. Talk to me about the importance of obviously having something like this for community members and remaining accessible, for everyone.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the other Mind Builders credo is making arts accessible to everyone. Unbelievably, we have people who come from, I think we have somebody from all the boroughs, maybe except for Staten Island, represented at Mind Builders that kindly have decided that it's worth the trek to come to Mind Builders. So we look at reaching out to all the different communities. Our programming definitely does signal that in terms of the things that we find important, that we elevate in terms of the kind of programming that we do. So yes, we are open to everyone and everybody, and we think that people who come to Mind Builders, they come because they have found something that works for them, of course. But yes, and we're very proud of that.
Yeah, now of course, as we talk about the programs, summer is coming up. It's right around the corner over this little cold that we're experiencing now. But it also means the Mind Builder Summer 2025 program is nearing. Talk to me a little bit about what exciting opportunities families and our children can expect to see with the program.
Absolutely. So tomorrow. Today's the 4th, right? I mean, no. March 5th. I'm sorry. March 5th. We had our we opened up registration for the summer, which will be happening from July 8th and 6 weeks. It's a shorter program, a little bit more abridged, but we do pack it with everything that we offer during the year with just a little bit less time. So the point was to continue everything that we're doing throughout the year, have students return in the summer, and then come back in the fall again. So that's what we're trying to do.
Now, of course, Waldo gave us a little look into the timeline. Melvada, talk to me about any special offerings or what programs people can look forward to.
Okay, so we have so many, so I'll just start there. But one of the more exciting things that we have coming up this month is we are doing, for the first time, an African dance conference at Mind Builders. It's March 30th. And when I say it's being hosted and produced by the Bambara Dance Company. And they have deep roots in the Bronx. Their founder, Jewel Love and Joe Barnes, and have decided to honor the women who have kept African dance alive in our community, have continued to elevate it and bring that style of dance to our community. And we are so excited about this. There will be a panel discussion, and then we have some of the most preeminent master teachers of African dance who are going to grace us with classes. It's very affordable. Just start, the promotions will be coming out. You can check the website and in various places, and the information is coming. So some of the people that will be there, if they're into African dance, they will know Esther Grant Walker, they will know Mama Wilhelmina Taylor, they will know Imani Ife, they will know Jewel Love. So we are very excited about this, and there will be a panel. They'll be discussing how to continue to bring the traditional African dance to the community, the Bronx community, and all the boroughs, of course. And we're very excited about that. And then when we look at the summer program, two of our signature programs that we run, we have dance camp for our 5 to 9 age group. And it's just a fun time. They do a lot of arts and crafts in addition to learning all the different styles of dance. It's really a great time. Last year, they did some tutus, they did T-shirts, they learned to tap, they learned modern, they learned ballet. They had a great time.
Oh, that's
and then the other program that we're really excited about is our dance intensive, and we call it audition prep. Now, this particular 6-week program is for that young person that may be looking at dance as a potential career, but at this point would just like to intensify their study, and they're applying or want to apply for the New York City high school, specialized high schools that have a dance program, like LaGuardia, like Talent Unlimited. And we have some really special people who are working with us from Talent Unlimited. We have Jessica Dancer. She's actually the director of the dance program there.
Okay.
And so this whole program is built around preparing young people to audition for a dance program.
That is incredible, Melvada. And I want to make sure, obviously, that we have enough time to cover. There's so many things going on. I mean, yes, the list goes on and on, which, I mean, thank you so much for even giving us an insight into some of the things that obviously people can expect. With that, I know, Waldo, you are a big advocate for the Mind Builders Stage Band.
Yes.
And ahead of this March 30th event, we also have something that the Stage Band is going to participate in on March 22nd.
Very important. We are very excited about this. The Stage Band for the last 2 years, and relax. I'm usually I'm usually carrying trophies around, so they always make fun of me. So for the last 2 years, they've received the Superior Trophy at the High Note Six Flags Festival, and this year they're going back there again. But the famous Pregones Theater from the Bronx, they have invited us to be part of their famous Marches Music, festival that they have in March. Wow. They have musicians from all over the world, all different kinds of music, and they gave us, the Mind Builder Stage Band, their own night. This is going to be at the Pregones Theater, the one here in the Bronx, 575 Walton Avenue, on March 22nd, 7 p.m. We will be there. We're going to have a bunch of special guests. We will be featuring jazz, R&B, pop, Latin music, all paid by the stage band and their guests. So please, come down. I'll
We
be
will
looking for you
definitely
guys.
mark it in our
Yes.
calendar. I mean, with that, you talk about the summer offerings to even obviously the stage band as well. With these different programs and offerings, how does it help our youth develop both artistically and personally, you'd say, from your own experiences?
Well, artistically, I would definitely say that it gives them the opportunity to explore their own creativity. And I think now, even maybe more before, with the advent of being able to have their own brand, like online, and do so many things online, like on the internet, like we never had that kind of opportunity. I think it's even more important that young people understand that they themselves can be their own product, and that creativity and innovation and entrepreneurship, I think, is one of the things that arts really will elevate in a young person and help them understand as an individual what they have to offer to the world and for themselves.
Now, of course, a big part of the program are mentorships as well. Waldo, maybe talk to me a little bit about the importance of mentorships with Mind Builders.
Well, how can I say this? As far as mentoring, you know, all of our staff, all of our teaching staff, I would say at this point they are mentoring our students. Besides the actual classes, I know that, you know, some of the teachers will invite students maybe to a rehearsal or to their performances, and then maybe have some side conversations about, you know, what can happen in the future for them. You know, realistic expectations, right? You know, it's sort of, you need to do this way, and I think it's working a lot. You know, you see everywhere. You'll walk into a restaurant, you'll see a bunch of kids, and the first thing they do is whip out their phones. And that's it. They never look at each other. They might even be talking to each other on the phones, but they're not looking. In Mind Builders, you'll see, you know, a lot of kids like working on dance steps, talking about music. We should do this part here. And that to me is, you know, is everything.
Yeah,
and
especially, I think also creating a community around the arts.
Exactly.
I feel like that is
Absolutely.
so beautiful.
Absolutely.
I mean, with that, I know the time flew by, and I love hearing about Mind Builders.
We
but
need
thank
an
you
hour.
so much. Yeah, we will. Our own talk show at that. But with that, thank you so much, Melvada, Waldo. Hopefully
you.
next time you'll bring the trophies to us. But thank you so much, and we'll stay tuned. For our viewers, to learn more about their programs and upcoming events, please visit their website at mind-builders.org. We've come to the end of our show today. I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us, and you, the viewers, of course, for tuning in. If you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the recablecast at 5 and 8 p.m. tonight on Optimum Channel 67 and Verizon Fios 33, or watch anytime on the web at BronxNet.org. You can catch a brand new episode of Open with Darren Jaime on Wednesday and with Rina Valentin on Friday. I'm Jonathan Calixto. Stay informed, stay inspired, and stay safe. Until next time. Again, thank you.